All right. I just have one thing to say here. Are we not doing that? Okay. Pre-recorded from Marist College, it's Studio A.
Welcome to Studio A, MCTV's original variety show, starring Tyler McGuigan, Maggie Roach, Val Cervello, and Abby Forrester. Tonight's trending topics panel, Alyssa Ramondi and Jack Geary. And our special guests, Nautics. Now please welcome your host, Tyler McGuigan.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Studio A. I'm your host, Tyler McGuigan, and we're finally back in the studio after being in quarantine for 6 months. A lot has changed during that time, as you can see. I can no longer show my handsome face because of the coronavirus. And also because we're just a club and we have no real power at the college. You're also looking at the new vice president for MCTV. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of a big deal now. Now, let's talk about what's going on in the world. If you haven't heard, and I'm shocked if you haven't, Travis Scott partnered up with McDonald's to promote their new Travis Scott meal. Great. Just what the world needed. Now we got 14-year-olds going up to McDonald's saying Cactus Jack sent them with sicko mode blasting at full volume. I myself tried this meal myself while I witnessed Marist students trying to get the McDonald's workers to say, "It's lit." And there really wasn't anything special about it. It's just a regular quarter pounder with cheese and bacon. The only thing special about it is the price, which is much lower compared to the regular quarter pounder meal, which is nice for my wallet. What I want to know is, why is Travis Scott selling out so much? First, the Fortnite concert, now this McDonald's meal. How's he gonna top this? I don't know. All that he's doing is increasing his tween fan base. Is this like secretly a flex or something? I don't know, who knows? Speaking of McDonald's, I'm surprised that with the new Mulan remake coming out, that they didn't actually partner up with Disney again and bring back that famous Szechuan sauce from when they promoted the original Mulan. What a huge missed marketing opportunity that was. Well, let's move on with the show now. Things have changed since last season. Unfortunately, a lot of people that did segments for us graduated. But that just means we'll have a bunch of new segments for you, and I think they'll be great. We're also bringing back interviews. This episode, I will be interviewing the band Nautics, which will be up next. Honestly, it just feels so great to finally be back in the studio and film this show the way it was supposed to be filmed. This episode is gonna be fun, so please stay tuned. Joining us tonight, we have a very special interview with the band Nautics. How's it going, guys? So why don't you guys take a moment to introduce yourselves and I guess tell us what position you're in the band?
Hello, my name is Kenzo, and I guess I'm the singer I'm the singer and guitarist of Nautics. I guess like the front person, you might say, but we're all front people in this band. Next.
Engineer. I play keys, and if I've eaten all my vegetables, I get to play guitar sometimes.
I'm Levitt, and I'm the drummer of this band, Nautics, yeah.
I'm Van. I stand to the right of Kenzo, and I play bass.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, guys. Why don't we get into some questions here? How did Nautics get started?
I guess I'll take that one for the team. We started in 2015. Van was sort of the link between all four of us. The other two had been in a sort of, I guess you would call it like a music class or program after school with Van, called Replay, and they did that for quite some time. So they knew each other. Van and them already had a sort of musical relationship going on, and I had nothing to do with the band at that point. I didn't even have an interest in doing music. And then I got to see a friend of mine actually perform at Webster Hall, sort of a couple months before we started. And I was really taken aback by the performance and just the whole atmosphere and the sort of band community that I saw in that one instance. And immediately the next day, I'm pretty sure I saw Van in class and was like, hey, I know you have a band. Can I please be part of that in some way? And one thing led to another, and we just organized a practice, and that's sort of where we started initially.
Well, that's awesome. What inspires most of your music?
I can give a brief, like, my part of an answer. I don't think there's any one thing that so I think the way we write music is very individual to begin with. So one of us will be working on our own. We'll come up with a demo, whether that's chords and a beat or a bass line or something. And that's very, personally motivated. But then, that person will bring the idea or the demo to the group, and we'll all work on it together. And there, I think we're very self-influential and we're very constructive. We have this rule that we follow most of the time, unless it's something really heinous, where we try every idea, at least try every idea that somebody has. And if it sounds bad, everybody kind of agrees that it sounds bad, but if it sounds good, we run with it. So our influences, very personal, what you listen to, what we listen to depends, but I think, when we come together, we influence each other really positively. So I take great inspiration from all these guys.
Well, it sounds like you guys are a great team. What makes Nautics different from other bands?
Boy, I wish I knew. I think typically, that's a hard question for us to answer. I think someone listening to us would probably have a better answer, hopefully. But I think something that we pride ourselves in that maybe I hope to see in other bands along the way is a sense of community and a sense of bringing an aspect of the performance and a relationship between the audience and us, to be as close of a connection as possible and sort of as intertwined a connection as possible. And I think that's something that we've always personally strived for. And musically, obviously, we have whatever our own sound, and I wish I could define it, and maybe someone who listens to us would have a better answer of what we sound like. But in terms of our sort of artistic morals, I think genuinely we always strive to create something new the next time we do anything. And we always strive to make something new that's also good for the person on the other end that's listening. And I hope and I think that sorry, there's a truck passing by. And I hope that all bands do that, but I think that's something that we specifically is sort of our moral artistic code going into anything we make.
All right, nice. So why don't you guys talk about Thoughts on the Ceiling and the excellent work you guys did for the food bank in New York City?
Yeah, so we had originally made the song well before we'd thought about donating, but we had donated to other organizations before. We're like very big on donating to organizations that we research and we find like a meaning to. And I was thinking about it as we were getting closer to the release of Thoughts, and I brought the idea to the others, and I was like, maybe we should donate the proceeds somewhere. And they were like, okay, just research an organization and then come back to us with the information. So I was researching a bunch of different ones, and I read the mission statement for the food bank of New York City. And I really like felt impacted by it. And I wanted to help out fellow New Yorkers get food, especially during COVID. And COVID is still happening, but this was like right in March when it was at its height, at least in the city, to my knowledge. And so I wanted to help there, and I brought the information back to them, and they thought it was pretty good. So that's how that started. And then I created a partnership with them.
Awesome. Well, that was a really great thing you guys did. How has the music writing process been with the whole COVID situation? Has it affected it in any way?
I think, well, it's easy to focus on the negatives, obviously. I mean, and it's mostly negatives because we're all spaced out, but for us, at least personally, I'll try and be positive. I think we've practiced writing at a distance a lot. And at least personally, I think when you have so much time on your hands, you end up actually experimenting with new techniques and doing a lot of research because, you browse the internet and obviously stuff just leads in a certain direction. So you end up just finding techniques online and you're like, wow, I never actually thought of that. And you start, I know Amir earlier in quarantine was talking a lot about 11th chords or 9th. I forget what they were. Similar things, but not similar things. But it basically, we came from there and we were like, oh, well, we could make a song like that. And I'd been, working on some things with production and how in gain staging and stuff. So then we combined that and then we made a demo. It was 2 months ago. And, it was something really cool. And then we were able to send it to Kenzo. And then Kenzo added some vocals to it, or he's still adding vocals, but either or. So it kind of became a process where we were actually able to use new skills we acquired and then communicate with each other over the internet, which I thought was cool.
Great. One question. Do you guys come up with your own concepts for music videos?
Most of the time we do. We've definitely had collaborators. We've had just all types of people in the past. There's a guy, Joshua, that we've worked with before, and my partner, Hope, worked on a video. And then we've had other people sort of come up to us with ideas, and hopefully in the future things sort of we get to collaborate a little bit more than we have in the past. And I think that door is going to be starting to open up again, which is nice. And we're grateful that we have people who are always interested in working on the visual stuff, which is really cool. But as for the last few videos, most of those were done in my house or in our houses during quarantine, just with an iPhone mostly, and the one that we just put out, I animated all on my laptop. So anything that can be done with no human interaction is probably the best option we have for the foreseeable future. But hopefully things will start to open up and be a little bit safer collaboratively.
Awesome. Well, speaking of that latest music video, what made you guys go with animation for Bricks?
So that was actually I got a notification for an update with Adobe Animate, and I had never animated anything before. And that was about a week or so ago. How long did it take me to do that? A week or something? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah. I'm not a god. But
neither am I.
We don't know. So I downloaded it and I was messing around and I was sort of showing them test footage or test animation. And one thing led to another and we were like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then we just all agreed that an animated video would be cool. So I took the test footage and I kept adding to it, and then we just kept agreeing that it was working. So, it was a pretty organic and fluid process throughout, and it was very unplanned, I think, as much as that's kind of oxymoronic for an animated video.
Yeah.
But it was very kind of on a whim, like, this is kind of cool and why not? Like, we'd talked about wanting to do more artsy or visual stuff. So it just kind of fit into place. And we're happy with how it turned out, I hope.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, I've seen just a little bit of it already, and I got to say, it looks amazing.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Stay tuned for a special viewing of Nautics' new music video for their single Bricks. Up next, let's hear from our panel. Joining us tonight to talk all things trending, we have Alyssa Raimondi and Jack Geary. So why don't we hop right into the first panel topic, which is quarantine hobbies. You know, when we were all stuck in quarantine, we all had to find ways to entertain ourselves. Some people have learned interesting new skills. Other people just kind of, sat around and did nothing, which is basically what I did. So why don't we all talk about what we all did during quarantine? Whoever wants to go first.
Alyssa, you can.
Okay. During quarantine, I would say I took up baking, actually. So I baked some cupcakes and some brownies, and I actually had a bad experience because I was baking cupcakes and the power went out midway through. So I got half of them done, but the other half had to throw away because I think there was that hurricane.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or some kind of storm, I forget. But so I took up baking.
Fortunately, I did not lose any power during that storm. Maybe for like a second in the middle of the night, but fortunately, I did not have to deal with the power outages like a lot of other people had to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my girlfriend, her power was out for like a whole week. It was awful.
Yeah, no,
What about you, Jack?
Are we talking power outages or quarantine?
No, just what you did
right.
during quarantine.
So yeah, I became something of a Renaissance man, I guess. I thought, because I had this ukulele lying around, so I tried to learn ukulele. I could play like 2 songs, Happy Birthday, and then my physics teacher at the very end of the year, he actually just wanted us, because like he was out of assignments, so he wanted to teach us all to juggle, so I could juggle a little bit. And I would do it right now, but I don't have any balls on me, so.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, I wish I could juggle or play the ukulele. I can't do either.
I'm mediocre at both, so.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I can't do either.
Mediocre is still better than awful.
Mm-hmm.
Or unable to do it. Well, it sounds like both of you had much more interesting quarantines than I did. You want to know what I did?
Sure.
I basically played PS4 like the entire time for hours on end and watched Netflix and other shows.
Oh, yeah.
What was your go-to game?
My go-to game for the most part, I think I played a bunch of stuff, but I think I mostly played Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Over the summer. Yeah, Warzone, all that jazz. I know the Last of Us came out in June. I played that. Then Ghost of Tsushima came out in July. I played through both those games. And then Fall Guys came out in August, and then I started playing a lot of that, and that was very rage-inducing.
Yeah.
I played a lot of rage-inducing games over quarantine, which was probably not good for my mental health. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I didn't really learn any interesting new abilities or traits. But, well, I'm glad you guys got to do something productive. So I think that pretty much wraps up our first topic. Before we come back, we're actually going to cut to another segment right now. We actually are bringing Cribs back, and we're taking a new spin on it this season. So see for yourselves.
Hi. Welcome to our house. Thank you. This is I2. This is our living room. Interior design by Mackenzie Curtis and everyone else, but mostly Mackenzie.
Everything's very like bohemian type because we're very spiritual people.
Yeah, so we're also very poor, so that reflects in this house.
No, I think we look really rich. And
That's
there's
a
like
living room.
a hidden spot
We have
there.
a hidden little nook to sleep, or not to sleep.
It's good to like sit here and listen.
A reading nook. Now follow me into our kitchen. So this is our kitchen.
It looks really good at night because you can't really see how dirty it is.
But yeah, this is our kitchen, and these are our lights. We have
Lights.
flowers,
Fairy lights.
fridges, all this good stuff. It's pretty uneventful.
Trash can, flowers in the back. We have 2 fridges because we're rich.
We have two fridges.
Sorry, don't look at that. This is upstairs. Sorry.
This is the little walkway upstairs,
This is our bathroom. I like to.
which is much messier.
No, I like it. I think it's very calming and it's good to like shower in. This is our room.
This is the only room you'll be shown today.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So we enter and we have Abby's side.
Yeah, which is not very decorated.
It's just a wall. It's just
It's a cute wall, serving plain wall vibes.
And then we have mine, which is literally the best thing of the house. I have every single
Aesthetic.
thing you can think is cool. Like I'm probably the coolest one here. We have posters. We have mini posters. We have lights. This thing for your phone.
Yes,
that's
so useful though.
I've
Should
never
use
used it.
This is our alcove.
Yes, I love it. Didn't know what that was for the longest time.
Tell
And
us
then
about
This is my lamp. It doesn't really work well. It has different settings. So if you're feeling like, yeah.
But
This
it's
is my
really
desk.
nice.
It's
The
really
desk
clean.
area, very clean. This
and
is my desk. And then the only things I have up here are my Ron Swanson Pyramid of Greatness, my Beatles poster, and my National Park poster.
If you want to like sit,
I like gazing at it.
What's the word? If you want to like put me into one thing, these are all the things that I would say represent me for many reasons. I'm not gonna get into it because it'd be a longer video. But yeah, I like this part a lot.
Our closets.
Closets. It's just clothing.
Yeah, because we're style icons, so we need lots of closet space.
Yeah, and that's the house.
And that's the house.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Give me a likes up.
Yeah, give us a thumbs subscribe.
Do it now, like
right now. And put on the bell.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
MCTV. Bye.
All right, and we're back. So, unfortunately, with the whole COVID situation, movie theaters have been shut down for quite a while, which is kind of unfortunate. All the movies that were supposed to come out this summer have been pushed back, and we don't know when we're going to be able to see them. But actually, recently, a couple movie theaters are starting to open up. But how do you guys feel about this? Where do you guys think that this is going?
I honestly think there might be a resurgence, like we've seen it already, of drive-in theaters. Like I feel like that might make a comeback.
I'm thinking about that too.
Yeah, I don't know. They might rework it and like I feel like they're gonna just like completely overhaul movie theaters and change it up entirely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're gonna have to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing with the drive-in theaters with the cars. I'm absolutely loving that though, because I think that's so awesome. Like that traditional, like gives you like old time kind of vibes. Like I love that. So I'm very excited, honestly, to maybe try that one day. But
yeah,
it depends on how they want to operate it, because they could clean everything down, but then there'd have to be more time in between each movie for them to properly sanitize.
Right. I mean, I actually went to 2 drive-in theaters during, over the course of, the whole COVID, and they've actually been pretty nice. Unfortunately, they don't really show any like new movies. They've shown movies that like have already come out, but it actually really is a like kind of a fun experience. Now, I know with Christopher Nolan's new movie Tenet has kind of that movie has come out recently. It's pretty much like the only new movie right now playing in theaters. But the unfortunate thing about it is that not every movie theater is open, so not everyone is being able to see it. Now, I personally love Christopher Nolan. I'm still super excited to see this movie because I haven't seen it yet. But it just kind of sucks. I know the movie theater in the Poughkeepsie Galleria is still closed. As far as I know. I don't know when they're planning on reopening that, but I don't know. It just kind of sucks. I think maybe putting new movies out in drive-in theaters would be a nice thing. Like if AMC wanted to start making drive-in, or Regal Cinemas wanted to start having drive-in theaters, so that like a lot of these other studios have a place to, put their new movies in. I think that could work a lot. I don't know. I just want to go back to the movies. I love going to the movies. I love watching new movies. There's so many like ones that I was planning on seeing that got pushed back, like James Bond and Black Widow and Wonder Woman. Like I've wanted to see all of those. Yeah. And I don't know what's going to happen. And then we got Dune coming out in December, and hopefully we'll be able to see that in an IMAX theater.
I think that like streaming services are really gonna blow, like, or honestly, if you look at sales, they probably have already blown up. Like I think streaming services gonna cash in big time.
Definitely.
New movies have been pushed onto streaming services, like Mulan.
Yeah,
is on Disney Plus now, which is being sold at an way too high of a price.
Too much.
But nonetheless, it's it's there for you to watch.
Yeah. They even put Hamilton on Disney Plus because Broadway shut down too.
I know. I still gotta see that.
It was good. I mean, I didn't see it in person, but I watched the Disney Plus version, and it was good. I gotta say.
They did do well. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, it seems like the future of movie theaters are kind of up in the air right now. They're trying to come back, but it looks like it's going to be a slow but sure process, that we're just going to have to wait it out and see. Well, now here's Maggie with her segment, the MCTV Game Show Spectacular. We'll be right back.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I'm Maggie Roach, and I'm the host of MCTV's Game Show Spectacular. This season's gonna look a little bit different. As you can see, I'm not on the beautiful Marist campus, and instead at my country home, which is what I like to call my parents' house because it sounds a little bit nicer. This season, we're not gonna have contestants because social distancing and all. And instead, I'm gonna teach you how to play games alone. Today we're gonna be playing Sad Jenga, which is the classic version of Jenga, but played completely and utterly alone. Let's go!
The first step of Sad Jenga is the most important. You begin by setting it up. Now, it doesn't matter if everything's lined up accurately or anything, because you're playing by yourself, and you don't really deserve that quality. So, the quickest you could set it up, the easiest it's going to be. To begin to play Sad Jenga, you remove a piece and say the thing you dislike most about yourself.
I dislike my personality.
Next, you remove another piece and say something that you think about quite a lot.
My cat ate my gerbil's foot.
Now, you get up all the hate you could muster and think of a teacher that you didn't like.
My least favorite teacher was Mr. Stevenson. Still hate you, Mr. Stevens.
To end Sad Jenga, you just consider what date you're going to die.
I think the date I will die is May 4th, 2025. No, that's too soon. 2042.
The next move, the board will fall over.
And that's how you play Sad Jenga. I hope you had a fun time. Please tune in next time when we play another game completely alone.
And we're back. Last but not least, we got to talk about the Emmys. Now, I completely forgot that this award show was going on, so I'm going to be honest, I didn't actually watch them, but I heard about some of the winners, and they seem pretty nice. But unfortunately, I haven't actually watched most of the shows that won these Emmys. What about you guys?
So I want to get into, I know like Schitt's Creek really took it home. They like won a ton. So I've been meaning to get into that, but I'm already a fan of the Mandalorian, Rick and Morty. So it was really good to see some of the like those shows take home Emmys, even if it was just one.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Alyssa?
I think the morning show, they won an Emmy. I forget which one it was, but I did watch it. It was an Apple TV production. And honestly, it's kind of like this. It's like a broadcasting show, and it shows the life of the people who work in a studio. And honestly, it was a very good show. I binge watched that one. I did, and it was really good. I gotta say, it was definitely worth the watch. So I'm glad they won, because I think they deserve it.
Yeah, I also see that Watchmen actually won a couple Emmys. Have either of you guys seen Watchmen on HBO?
No, that's on HBO?
Yes. It's
okay, I gotta watch that. Yeah.
It's actually a really good show. Like,
really?
Two of the leads, no. One supporting actor won. Yeah, I don't know I might butcher his name here, but Yahya Abdul Mateen II. He actually won. He plays, his character is actually kind of a spoiler, but he plays the main actress's husband. He was actually really good in the show. And then Regina King also won an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress for Watchmen. And the writer of the show, Damon Lindelof, actually won. And Cord Jefferson, they won for that. So yeah, that was actually a really good series. I hope they do another season of that, because it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. Yeah. But that was a really good show. I think The Mandalorian also won a couple of like technical stuff. I'm not too sure, but I think it won like for music, which I definitely agree with. The music in The Mandalorian is really cool and is very unique to the Star Wars universe. Usually every like Star Wars show, movie kind of has very similar music. Yeah. Mandalorian was like the first one that actually gave us something different.
What's it called? I'm so glad that it comes back in like almost a month, right?
Yeah. Just about a month, like October 30th.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm hyped for that.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Can't wait for that show. Oh man. Yeah. It's like one of my favorite new shows right now.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I think that just about wraps up our panel. Thanks a bunch, Alyssa and Jack, for hopping on the panel this week. Now, stick around, because we actually have our brand new news segment to show you, and I think you're going to like this one. Also, later on, we'll get a look at the new Nautics animated music video. Hello. You know my name already.
And I'm Val Cervello.
Welcome to the BiWeekly update, where we talk about the most important news.
Our first story comes from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Of course, it's Florida. A group of anti-maskers invaded a Target and marched around the store blasting "We're Not Gonna Take It" by Twisted Sister as they took off their masks and demanded that the other shoppers do the same thing. The group did this in celebration of Burn Your Mask Day. Wow, is that really a thing? Luckily, Dee Snider, the lead singer of Twisted Sister and writer of We're Not Gonna Take It, took to social media to condemn the anti-maskers and their use of their song, saying they didn't have the permission or blessing to use it for the quote-unquote moronic cause. The group posted a video of their protest to YouTube, which allowed 3 of the group members to identify and fined $100 for not wearing masks. Moral of the story, just wear a mask. It's not hard.
Kanye West has more drama surrounding him on Twitter yet again. This time, he spoke out against the music industry and tried to show the world how oppressive it can be to artists. He tweeted screenshots of conversations he had with Sony Universal execs and said that he wouldn't negotiate with anyone who wasn't a billionaire. Wow. He also seemed to have some trouble with Twitter. He tried to tweet a PDF attachment. He tried to tweet PDF attachments of his Sony Universal contracts, but they were really just pictures of the attachments, so no one was able to open them. So instead, Kanye took individual screenshots of over 100 pages of all 10 of his contracts and posted each page in its own individual tweet. God knows how long that took him. And to top it all off, he posted a video of himself peeing on his own Grammy in the toilet. This Twitter spree ended up getting Kanye banned from the platform for 12 hours because he shared someone's contact information. Kanye is now calling himself the new Moses, claiming that he's gonna bring people to freedom. Honestly, Kanye, you're not telling us anything we didn't know already. Everyone knows how terrible the music industry is. They practically own the artist's life. People like Taylor Swift have been saying this for years. Anyway, after all this, I'm really just wondering about one thing. Is Kanye's Grammy worth more or less now that he's peed on it?
In other news, several A-list celebrities got together to do a table read of the 80s classic Fast Times at Ridgemont High and raise money for charity. The cast they got to do this table read is absolutely star-studding, with stars like Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston, John Legend, Morgan Freeman, Julia Roberts, Sean Penn, and one who stole the show, Shia LaBeouf, who did the whole table read from his truck, high as a kite. He was also the only one who memorized all of his lines. It was a sight to see. Of course, though, all anyone could talk about was Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston reuniting for the table read, and people went crazy from the moment the two greeted each other, waiting to see them rekindle their love and get back together. Things even got a little steamy later on in the table read when Brad and Jennifer reenacted a sexual scene together. Come on, Brad and Jen, just get back together already. It's what, 2020? It's what 2020 needs right now. Anyway, the table read was something we were all happy to see, given how crappy this year has been.
With the presidential election just around the corner, people are still waiting to see a debate between the two candidates. Well, famous podcast host Joe Rogan has made it known that he would love to moderate his very own presidential debate in his studio. That's right, the man who smoked a blunt with Elon Musk wants to moderate a debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. In a recent episode of his podcast, Joe Rogan expressed that he wants to have just him, Trump, and Biden in his studio for 4 hours with cameras to record the debate and ask them his own questions. He would also want it to be live so that it won't be edited. Honestly, this sounds like a great idea. With the way the media has been going, it would be a breath of fresh air for these presidential candidates to just sit down with Joe Rogan and have a real conversation. We would be able to get down to the nitty-gritty of what each candidate's policies are. Hell, maybe Jamie can be there as a fact checker too. Then maybe they can take a break, drink some Jack Daniels, and talk about the best way to cook elk meat or some random shit like that. I don't know. The point is, it would be freaking awesome, and Trump has even agreed to do it. Now we're all waiting for Biden's response. Come on, Joe, quit playing Despacito and accept the debate already. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like this debate will actually happen, but one can still dream.
Well, that's it for our bi-weekly update. Thanks for watching. For more news, catch us in 2 weeks for more important news. Once again, I'm Val Cervello.
And I'm Tyler, but I probably won't be here next time.
And we'll see you next time.
And now we have a special treat. Here's Nautics' new music video for their hit song, Bricks. All right, that's all the time we have for tonight. I want to thank our panelists, Jack and Alyssa, for joining with us, and also the band Nautics for letting me interview them. You can see our show on our YouTube page, MCTV HD, and don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. For Studio A, I'm Tyler McGuigan, and have a good night, everyone.